Hello everyone! How are we today? Happy Sunday. Hey Miss Twiggy. I look naked, I swear I have a tank top on. I had a call before this and I was like, wow guys, I have to look naked. Hi. Okay, cool guys. I'm literally storming through DI right now. Look at that. Hey Marsha. Okay, cool guys. Hey Miss Nina. Hi everyone. Okay, cool guys. If you don't know Miss Twiggy, raise your hand. Her name is actually Christian. She goes by Twiggy, so that's the confusion if you're like, who the hell's Twiggy? So her name's Twiggy. She's gonna be helping me man the chat because one thing about me is I love to chit chat, and if I start chit chatting with you on the chat, we're not gonna finish the workshop because I'm gonna get distracted. And so she's gonna help me out in the chat. If you guys have any questions, feel free to raise your hand and I'll answer them live. Or if you have a question that Twiggy can answer, put it in the chat and she's happy to answer. I've literally trained this girl for 2.5 years personally, so you're in good hands with her, I promise. We will also have a Q&A at the end, so don't you worry, your questions will get answered. I just, I'm an ADHD girly, so I have to just, let the people know the chat is not my stronghold. I always end up taking a left turn. We end up talking about something totally unrelated. Cool. So, before we get into it, I know I've mentioned to you guys that we're launching MILF U at the end, which is going to be awesome. I'm going to tell you this at the beginning just so that you have time to think about it, but I have an exclusive offer for everyone that came live because I love a live group. It's a fun time in here. Anyways, if you use code MILF, you get $200 off MILF U, and if you book during this call, you get a free private session with me. A private session with me is $9.99, so you're between the two, you're saving $11.99. So we love a girl math moment of the savings. Twiggy will drop the chat, Twiggy, you guys, words. Twiggy will drop the link in the chat. That was a tongue twister. And then you guys can look at that, but without further ado, let's get into it, guys. So, as you know, we're going over like the energetic root behind weight loss, how it all ties in. But before we get into that, I need you guys to understand that every single thing starts out on the energetic side before it actually manifests into the physical. So here's an example. So the device you're watching this webinar on, right? It started at someone had the idea, right? Then they drew it up on paper. Then it went to, I don't know, a manufacturer, and then they created it, and now you're here and you're watching it. Or if you're watching it from your phone, right, you're watching it, it's literally in your hands. So again, everything's starting out as a thought, right? Even something like anxiety, where, think about it, you've had one thought more than once, it's now made you anxious, whatever it is, and then you start to feel it in your chest. Like, I don't know about you guys, but my chest gets heavy, my breathing changes, I get a headache. Every time I get a headache, it's ridiculous. Maybe your body tenses up, and it all started out because you had a thought, right? So think about whenever you hold on to a belief, all a belief is a thought that you think over and over and over and over again. And here's a little mini neuroscience lesson behind that. So eventually your brain starts questioning these thoughts, right? And it just starts accepting it as the truth. And once your brain accepts something as the truth, it begins looking for more evidence, right? To keep proving that belief true. And it's literally how our brain is wired, right? But knowing this, it means you can shift it. So that's why we're in this class today. But it's constantly filtering through millions of pieces of information every single second and only bringing your attention to the things that match the identity that you've created. And I don't know if you guys have seen, I'm a mom, so I've obviously seen it, but if you've seen the children's movie Inside Out, it actually really paints a good picture of how the brain operates and how it latches onto certain beliefs and how the emotions behind it is what then they're broadcasting out, right? So if you haven't seen that movie, you should watch it. It's actually really good, and it's like a kid version, right? So it's kind of dumbing down the neuroscience behind it so you can fully understand it. Anyway, 10/10 recommend, but I gotta watch it. If you should, Mackenzie, it's great. I know I said I wasn't gonna read the chat, and look at me reading the chat. Don't mind me. But my point is, if you always believe you're overlooked, right, your brain's going to find more proof and it's going to create those situations for you. If you believe you're bad at money, your brain will find proof and create more situations like this for you. And if it means, I don't know, if you believe being a mom, you have to lose yourself in motherhood, your brain will find more proof and create more situations like that for you. So, and it's not because it's true, right? Like, it's not actually true, but it's because your subconscious is trying to keep your internal world consistent, and that's what you've proved it to be true time and time again. So, pulling that into weight loss and the energetics behind that. So even something as simple as weight loss, it has an emotional component to it. Now, there may also be something, right, like physical, like maybe it's changing diet, maybe you have a food allergy, maybe you need to be more active, maybe it's hormones, I don't know. But this part, we're diving into the emotional piece. From experience, once you heal the emotional piece, you will either intuitively be called to either change a diet, switch something out, or just, if it's only an energetic problem that you're having, the problem will solve itself from you healing the emotional component. Now, if you're trained in intuition, you can also intuit an exact workout plan and diet for yourself, but that's a whole different topic, but just wanted to put that out there for you guys. So now, the emotional root behind holding on to excess weight is beating yourself up in one or more area of life. And when I say beating yourself up, I mean like being hard on yourself, and I'm gonna get into what that looks like. Stay tuned. So, and again, this isn't just from one thought that you've had, right? This isn't like one thing and then you're holding on to 10 pounds the rest of your life. No, like this is something you've been doing for an extended amount of time, probably for years, and you haven't even realized it. Why? Because the brain's used to you thinking that way. But when we get used to our brain thinking that one way, it's harder to catch these thoughts in the moment when we're super hard on ourselves. But that's what we're going to dive into and uncover today. Don't you worry. Now, a lot of the way that we think, what if we got the fat from birth? Stay tuned. So a lot of the way that we think is generational, aka like generational trauma. So when I was younger, I would watch my grandma pick herself apart in the mirror. She never felt skinny enough. She never felt good enough. She never felt pretty enough. And my 5-year-old brain latched onto those beliefs too, right? Because we have what the brain is called mirror neurons. And even if we don't say anything out loud, the kids feel the energy and they will take on those beliefs. So I took on at a ripe age of 5, right? You have to be skinny to be valuable. People don't like you unless you're skinny. You aren't worthy unless you're not worthy unless you're not skinny, right? Wait, I'm saying that wrong. You get my point. You have to be skinny not to be worthy. Now, none of those are actually true, right? Like, did God write in the sky you have to be skinny to be any of those things? No, but that's what my mirror neurons took on, right? And that's what I had plugged into my creator field. Then you guys, you all know here in the early 2000s, if you know, you know, we hit that. It was literally called like heroin chic. Do you guys remember this? Like where it was like you had to be like this thin, and like all the pop stars at the time were like real thin. But I remember I was young. I was like 10, I think. I don't know. I don't remember, but I was too young to be thinking that was cute. You know what I mean? But being skinny was everywhere, and the skinnier the better. And again, those mirror neurons picked up that was the ultimate truth. And I don't know about you guys, but do you guys remember the Slim Fast era, like the Slim Fast shakes? I was drinking those at like age 8 or 9. And I look back now and I'm like, that's wild to think about. Because why were we just drinking those out of our mom's refrigerator? You know what I mean? Like, it's funny now, but it's like actually not funny. You know what I mean? Like, interesting. But it's wild to think about, but that was literally the norm. Like, it was just like, pushed in your face. Like, you drink this, you don't have lunch, you have a Slim Fast, right? Yeah, it was so bad, the diet culture. It's wild. And like, I didn't really realize how bad it was until like now, right? And then you're thinking back to it and you're like, damn, what the hell? Anyways, and then you skip to now, right? And we're kind of back in that like skinny era where it's like the Ozempic and peptide trend, where again, the skinnier the better. And I'm not necessarily hating on any of those things, right? I'm just pointing out like what's going on. Like now those things can be good tools for sure, but a lot of it people are using for like a quick fix versus actually healing the emotional root behind it. So our mirror neurons are constantly picking up like, I need to look this way or I'm not hot and sexy. And then if you're a parent, right, or you're planning on being one in the future, you're taking this on subconsciously and now it's in your energy. So you go home to your kids and now their mirror neurons are taking it on, and now they have to heal from something that wasn't even theirs in the first place, right? Again, think generational trauma. But the cool thing is, right, whenever you heal these beliefs, you heal them as well, and you ensure that they don't have to go through years of healing like you did, which is really freaking cool. But fast forward to me, postpartum, I just, outed myself for everything that I took on belief-wise. So my first postpartum, and pregnancy, which I've openly talked about, like that was just one of the lowest times of my life, like depression wise. I was very hard on myself, like all the things. Anyway, so with Tatum, I lost all the weight, but there was 10 pounds that I could not lose. I was heavily inflamed, and just like no matter what I did, I was working out every day. My diet was like as clean as you can get it, you know what I mean? Like it was crazy, and I could not lose it. Then I got into this work and I started healing the emotional root. And what do you know? Those 10 pounds came off like this. And I was like, you're telling me I have been killing myself in the gym, and it was this emotional piece that I was missing all along, right? And so this time I'm 10 weeks postpartum. I'll be 11 weeks tomorrow. I'm 10 pounds away from my pre-baby weight now, but I'm only 10 weeks postpartum, right? With Tatum, it was like 2 years and I was still holding on to the extra weight. And it's literally because I've been shifting this emotional component. I've literally been to 2 Pilates classes and that's it, which let me tell you what, I was so scared to go to those this quick into postpartum, but I did survive. I'm here. But anyways, back to the beating yourself up piece. I wanted to make sure we had a good like neuroscience understanding before we get into the beating yourself up component. So how this applies to beating yourself up and what that can actually look like. Now, if you're like me, which I assume you are, right, or you wouldn't be here right now, but you took all of this on, and if you didn't or don't look a certain way, you let that inner critic tell you how big you are, how ugly you are, how people would like you if you were skinnier, or you'd get the man if you were skinnier, whatever nonsense we tell ourselves, right? And then just like that, something that you took on at 5 years old has dictated your entire relationship with weight, your food, and your entire life has been shaped around it, right? And I don't know about you guys, but I for sure don't want my children or even my grandchildren having to go through that like mental loop that we went through, right? So I've made sure to go in and massively heal that. And I was like, you know what? If I feel that way, there's going to be others out here that feel the way too. Thus, this workshop was born. So, and now because of that, Tate is the most confident kid, and it's the sweetest thing ever. Like which I was not a confident kid. Obviously, I just told you what I went through, but like she'll come home and be like, yeah, I went to hockey today and I was obviously the best one there. I'm like, honestly, good for you. And I'm like, yeah, you were. Hype that girl up. We want to keep the confidence, right? But I know some people are like, well, is that making her conceited? Not really, because would you want a kid that's like, hyping themselves up, or would you want someone who's like, I'm not good enough, no one likes me, you know what I mean? Like, it's easier to balance it out and be like, okay, hey, let's calm down, there's always gonna be someone better than you, versus like, no, baby, you're worthy, you're good enough, right? Anyways, now we have 8 areas of life, so the way you beat yourself up may not even look like what I just described. You may be like, Keisha, that doesn't apply to me. I don't feel like any of those things. It could totally be something else, and I'm gonna break down what that could look like in each of these areas of life. So we have the physical area of life, as in like your physical body and health. So it could be something like what I just talked about, or maybe you beat yourself up for not eating as healthy as you wanted, or, not taking the right supplements, or maybe you don't go to your holistic practitioner as much as you would like, or you didn't work out as hard enough today, or you're not as fit as you want to be, like, etc., things like that. And again, to create the weight, this isn't something you thought one time and just woke up with 10 pounds on you, right? Like, this is something you're thinking about daily, whether it's conscious or subconscious. Then we have our mental area of life. So maybe it's like you're beating yourself up over spiraling of a situation, for texting that boy you said you would stop talking to, for not finishing your to-do list, for not following through on a situation, for not holding your commitments to yourself, things like that. Then we have our social area of life. Maybe you beat yourself up for you think you're awkward. You're in a social situation. You're like, God, I was so awkward. Why did I say that? Why did I do that? Maybe you thought you didn't say the right thing, for not doing XYZ with your friends, for trauma dumping, for oversharing, for not being as social as you want, for being overly social and then mad you committed to those plans last week. Guilty. I don't know about you guys. I'll get on an emotional high and I'm like, yeah, let's do that tomorrow. And tomorrow comes and I'm like, no, why did I do that? Then we have our financial area of life. And this is where you could beat yourself up. Think like maybe you're in debt and you're beating yourself up for that. Or you spend recklessly. Or for not having a bigger savings. For not owning a house. For not having a trust fund like your friend. For not I don't know, having a 401k, Roth IRA, whatever the cool kids have these days, who knows? For not traveling for work like you want to, for not making the amount that you want, something along those lines. Then we have our vocation slash career. Now, vocation is going to be your soul path, soul pull. Career is obviously going to be your career. If you're like me, I have those two linked, but you may not be there yet, and that's okay. So that's why we have both. So beating yourself up in that area would be like, you know, maybe you're beating yourself up for not having not started your soul path, soul pull, or for not having a successful soul path, soul pull yet, or maybe you're not far enough in your career. Oh yeah, for not having babies at a certain age, that's a good one. Let's see, for not making more money, for not getting promoted as quick as you want, for never getting enough done, whatever that looks like for us, right? For your boss being hard on you, things like that. Then we have our passion hobby. And this could be like you beat yourself up for never prioritizing this, for not even knowing what you like or what's fun for you. That's a big one. When I first started getting into my passion hobby, I had to like relearn who I was, because I'm like, what the hell do I even like that like lights me up, you know? So if you feel that way, relatable, I understand. Anyway, but for not following through with committing to your passion hobby, for not having time for it, for always putting it off. And then we have the spiritual area of life. And so this one could look like beating yourself up maybe for not learning this work sooner, for not prioritizing it daily, for not connecting to your emotional ingredients, for taking all the courses and still not implementing it, for feeling like you can't get the answers from your own intuition or from yourself, for not taking more courses. The list goes on, right? Like we can always find something that we're not doing. And then we have our last but not least, our family area of life. And so maybe you're beating yourself up for yelling at your kids, your grandkids, snapping on your husband, for not having the money to go on all the family vacations that you want to go on, for not homeschooling, for not sending them to private school, for not playing with them more, for not having the sexual relationship with your partner that you desire, things like that. And again, these are just some examples, right? Like it's not limited to only what I just said. These are just some examples that I pulled for you guys so we can kind of start to connect the dots like, I never thought about it, but maybe, perhaps, I am a little hard on myself in these certain areas. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna workshop this out today, and I'm gonna set the timer for 2 minutes. And I want you to start to think about where you're beating yourself up and what that looks like. So I'm gonna set the timer for, let me know if you have questions before I start the timer. But what we're doing, I just want you to think of all the 8 areas that we just went through. Think of maybe like 2 to 3 ways that you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I see how I potentially could be beating myself up in this area now that we've brought it to our attention, right? Okay, cool. So I'm gonna start the timer now. We've got about a minute left. About 30 seconds. check-in time. Okay, do I have any volunteers to share what we discovered now that we're thinking about it? Mackenzie, what do you got, sister? Start calling on people.
So funny. I was like, I feel like she's gonna follow me.
Higher self said, call her out.
Yeah, I know. It's funny because, okay, so I picked 2 areas, and it's financial and vocation career.
Okay.
And so,
Relatable, I understand. Same.
yeah, it's always that. And so today I'm like creating a like my own workshop for myself for like my own thing. And then I hop on here, and I've had things typed out and stuff like that. And I come on here, and then I'm like, oh my god, everything I did was wrong. And so then I started spiraling because I started like having these like thoughts of like, oh my god, I'm not doing things right. Should I do it this way? Should I do it that way?
But that's why you're here, because now we caught the thought pattern and we're gonna shift it.
I threw myself into a full panic, and now I'm like anxiety ridden a little bit, and I'm like, you girl, you
got
gotta
this.
calm down. Yeah, I know.
You got this.
But I started just like having these thoughts of like, just like I'm not doing it right, like my stuff isn't gonna work out, type of like situation. And then I started catching myself, and I was like, all right, Mackenzie, you need to chill out. And then the finances is more so like, just like me spending money and like thinking I shouldn't be spending money.
Sure.
Because, you know, like right now I don't have a job, like this is my job, and like creating this business and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, I probably shouldn't be spending money on going out to eat this morning to get myself breakfast. And it's funny because
But you know what? You have a mic, and Mike makes money, so
exactly. And I got $40 for
There you
going
go.
out to eat today. I know that was a win, and I was like, you know what? Perfect. But like, it's stuff like that. I'm like, I shouldn't be spending money if like I don't have anything, type of like situation.
Totally.
So yeah. So then I'm getting better about beating myself up with that, but that's definitely something else I've been beating myself up about.
Well, see, I'm glad we uncovered it. I'm glad I called on you. Those were good examples. Thank you for sharing.
Okay, perfect. You're welcome.
Would anyone else like to share before I let Higher Self choose another one, you guys? Okay, cool. We have some in the chat. Let me see. Okay, Hunter says, I feel like every area of the Virgo in me. Girl, I'm telling you, I'm a Virgo moon, and I'd be, man. But specifically vocation, finance is my value, and passion, hobbies for sure. Yes, Hunter, good job. Miss Nina said, not having built the business results yet that I want, not having the sales that I want for being consistent. Good. See, and these are all good too. Like, I'm glad that you guys are sharing business ones, because what happens is, like, yes, you're beating yourself up and it can translate into weight gain, but also if you were thinking these things like, I can't do it, no one's going to want to buy my stuff, no one's going to show up, well, then you're literally radiating that, and you're broadcasting it off your body. So then people really aren't going to show up because that's how you're feeling, right? So I'm glad that we're talking about this today, guys. It's like Higher Self planet, Virgo too. I totally get it. See, I wonder if we're all Virgos in some sort. Because, like, yeah, the Virgos, man. And it's like, I don't know if you guys feel this way. See, I can't be in the chat. I'm going to get off topic. We'll talk at the end. But I have to be organized. That's where I was going with this. Anyways. Okay, cool. So now we just took time and we just identified the two areas, maybe, could be more, where we are, you know, beating ourselves up in some way, right? So how we start to shift this is we have to change the way we think about it, right? If we want to change our daily actions, it starts with a thought, right? So we have to change those thoughts. So in order to do this, we have to start to prove to our brain that these things are not actually negative. Like what Mackenzie was saying, like her not going to breakfast. Like, is that actually, like, if she goes to breakfast, is it bad? No, right? Leah says Virgo over here, beating myself about yep, freaking Virgos, man. So, again, nothing is fully good and nothing is fully bad, right? Everything's balanced, but our brain will always go to the negative. So we're going to balance that out here today. So we have to train our brain to see it differently. You're not going to wake up tomorrow and have a brand new positive brain that's like, yes, girl, you got this. You can do anything, right? Because we've thought the negative for so long, the brain doesn't know how to do that yet. It hasn't latched onto that. Now exactly, Cam, you can create that, right? But it takes time. You know, I wish I could tell you guys that after connecting to this one time, you'd be fully healed. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. The brain's very stubborn. So I'm going to give you this tool and you can keep utilizing it each day, right? But what we're going to do is we're going to train our brain to see it differently. So if you are beating yourself up for how you physically look, these are some examples to like give you where I'm going with this. But if you're beating yourself up for how you physically look, what is it teaching you? Well, it's showing you that you're still holding on to certain beliefs that you have that have made you feel like that you're less than if you don't look a certain way. It's giving you the opportunity to heal that generational trauma so you don't pass it down to your kids. It's showing you that you're out of balance emotionally somewhere. And it's allowing you to rewrite the script and create an entirely different relationship with yourself. Because think about how good it would feel if you just weren't such a mean bitch to yourself every day. You know what I mean? And I'm guilty too. Listen, I'm at war with my brain, but it's like I hit new levels, right? But when I first started like doing this and started shifting it, I was like, wow, I feel so much lighter and brighter. It's a great time. Another example, if you're beating yourself up because maybe you think you're not making enough money, what's it teaching you? Well, it's showing you that you have a creator field problem that you need to address. It's allowing you to start to think about finances different. Who said that a certain dollar amount has to be why you're valuable? Maybe it's allowing you to master money. If you learn to master money, your creator field, if you learn to master money with your creator field, you can bring in a massive amount in the future. It's also allowing you to set up your creator field right so you don't lose the money that you make immediately. Like think about people who win the lottery, right? They win millions and then within a year they're bankrupt. Not all of them, but like 9 out of 10, there's a statistic. I was actually reading on it randomly. And I was like, that's so interesting. And when I was intuitively looking in, it's because they don't have the creator field to hold it up, right? So the financial obstacles that you may be going through, maybe they're getting you ready for that, right? So that you can hold on to more in the future. So it's just a couple examples. We're gonna take another 2 minutes and using at least 2 areas that you picked, try to find the gifts in those and what it's teaching you. And I'm gonna set the timer for 2 minutes and then we'll share again. And if you need help finding the gifts and what it's teaching you, definitely share because I can help. Okay, 2 minutes starts now. About a minute. About 20 seconds. And time. Okay, do we have any volunteers? And there's no right or wrong answers, by the way, so don't be shy.
I guess I'll go again.
Okay, perfect. Oh, and Hunter. Good. We love a volunteer.
Throw myself back out there.
We love it.
Okay, so mine's money and career again. And so what I did and what it's teaching me, like for the money, it's teaching me to work more on my money beliefs because there's still that type of lack belief that I have that I know that I've been working on. It's just like a newer level. So it's just teaching me to like, you know, just like keep going and not let the fear of that hold me back anymore. It's
to lock in.
Yeah, to just lock in on like the ingredients, to lock in that like I'm worthy of literally just spending money on myself. Like it came to like $25, and that I'm worthy of like spending money and splurging on myself, taking myself out on a date and stuff like that. So that's what it was.
Tie it in too, Mackenzie, because so Mackenzie's pregnant. Tie it in too because okay, if you can master like taking yourself and buying a coffee, you're gonna be so much happier once you have the baby because you're gonna actually be prioritizing yourself. Like when you have a newborn, it's well, I mean, it's harder to get out of the house. I will say that because you have to pack so much shit. But whenever you're out, you're thriving because you're like, oh my god, I feel like a normal person again. So anyway, if you have that money belief, you're gonna be like, oh well, I'll have to pack all this newborn shit, and I don't want to spend money on myself. You're not gonna go. But if you're doing it and you're in the habit. Right. Now, I'm not saying go spend money you don't have, please. I'm not a financial coach.
No, but that makes sense because I've been learning to, like, doing those hard things now is going to help me in the future because I'm going to be like, all right, well, I don't have all of this, like, stuff weighed on me to, like, just go ahead and do it, even if it's too, like, much or something like that.
Totally. It's making you a better mom.
Exactly. I'm happier, everyone is happier. Because like I need to be happy or else everyone's not happy. Yes,
then Mike's going to be unhappy because you're going to be griping at him. And then the baby's going to have, you know, be crying and you're going to be mad at, you know, it's just not a good time.
Yeah, not a good time. And then for career, I said, because as I was spiraling, like right now it's like teaching me to like root to what I have and like root to like what my intuition, like creating what I'm creating can only like kind of like be gotten for me and like I don't have to like follow everyone else is doing, like I'm special and unique. Like I can like do takeaways from like other people's masterclasses or webinars, but like most importantly stick to like what I'm doing and, you know, use my intuition to test like how well the class would be doing X, Y, Z and stuff like that instead of just being like, oh my god, I'm throwing everything away and like I'm to start over.
And that freak out that you had is good. I know it doesn't feel good, but like it's good because it's letting you know those beliefs are still there and they're running the show. So you have to heal those in order to do all the things that you want to do, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Good. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
All right, Miss Hunter Queen, what do you have for us?
So mine were kind of intertwined with the like financial vocation piece and also my passion hobbies, which is kind of interesting. But basically what it's teaching me is that I have value outside of my career, outside of like financials, outside of how I look. Like it's really making me just appreciate my value of existing.
Totally.
And then also just like honing into new paths and new opportunities that I probably would have been stuck in if I were still in my previous role. Just for the class, I recently got laid off. So it's like teaching me there's other opportunities that can just exponentially increase my life. And then another thing is I was really, really, really busy and kind of neglected my passion projects and like happiness value of just myself. And so this is giving me an opportunity to be like, hey, what do you love? Like, what's going to make you happy?
And it's good too because it lets you see how your happiness levels tank when you're not doing that. Because it's like you're so happy for so long, you know what I mean? Then when you stop doing that and you're like, damn, I liked myself better when I was happy.
Yes, 1000%.
No, good, Hunter. Those are good too. And even for you, everyone can use this too. Like connecting, like value-wise, like basically what Hunter's saying is everything that she put her value in got stripped away from her work-wise. So now she's having to find how she's valuable without having a job, right? So connecting to like the value that you're bringing your husband right now. So her husband also, not to out you, I'm just giving your information out here. He owns his own company, so she's helping him. So like, how are you helping him? What energy are you bringing him? Like you're a cheerleader, right? Like you're very nurturing, like you're very loving, like you're doing all of these things for him, right? That is bringing value and it's not even a job, right?
Yes.
So I love that.
And I think that's a big thing too. I've been struggling because I'm trying to get him to be like, you're valuable, instead of me just being like, I'm valuable.
Correct.
So that's been like a big, like, ooh, okay, we need to focus on this one.
Good. Because if you don't feel valuable, right, they're never going to like tell you you're valuable. We live in an inside out world, guys, so. Let's see, let me read the chat. Oh, it's teaching me to take things less seriously because it's actually not that serious for mental. Totally. Some of the things that I get like in a mental spiral about, I'm like, does this even matter? No, it doesn't, but you can't convince my brain otherwise, right? In the moment. It's encouraging me to reconnect with myself for spiritual, and it's teaching me it's safe to put myself first, because at the end of the day, I feel like shit because I didn't take care of myself. Nobody's going to do this for me. But yeah, exactly. Good job, guys. For social, to trust myself more, not play small, and start to feel safe and authentic and enjoy life. Exactly. I feel like we're on a theme today. I love this for us. Okay, good job, guys. Now, so what we've done is basically we've uncovered, right, these traumas that we had subconsciously running the show that we weren't consciously aware of, right? Hello, Keisha, that's why I said unconscious. Words are hard today, okay? I've got a newborn, all right? Anyways, but we're creating these situations that we're beating ourselves up, essentially. And it's translating into what could be extra weight gain. But, now I know this workshop is around weight gain, right? However, that's just one way that beating yourself up can show up in your life, right? So it could also look like, but not limited to, it could look like not getting the promotion you've been running for. Why? Because you're hypercritical of yourself, which makes you a match for your manager to be hypercritical of you. So because of that, you're staying at the same pace, so you just made yourself lose money. So it's like, if you're hypercritical of yourself, I mean, you're making yourself a match for people to be critical of you. So then if they're like looking at people who need a promotion, they're like, ugh, this girl, Twiggy, she's not doing enough. She's not doing it right. They're going to feel that because she feels that she doesn't, but whoever, right, feels that about themselves, and so they're going to feel that. Maybe your romantic partner is always being critical. Like, why wasn't this done? Why wasn't that done? Why isn't dinner made? Why is the house a mess? Or it could be, I always had this one, recurring headaches. I'd get a migraine nonstop, and it was so frustrating. And it's like one of those things where nothing works. You're doing all the tips and tricks, or you're putting your feet in hot water, and you're in a dark room, and you know what I mean, and nothing works, unfortunately. For me, anyway. Not feeling good enough in your career. Could even lead to, like, losing your job. Friends and family being hypercritical of you, struggling in the financial area of life, feeling like it's impossible to make more money or get out of debt, right? And again, these are just to name a few, but it's just to give you an idea of like, I see how me being hard on myself is trickling into other areas, and how, yes, maybe I'm holding on to these extra 5-10 pounds, but it's also showing up like this, right? And why I bring this to your attention is because if you're aware of it, that's how you start to shift it. Now, to out myself, all these things I've listed off above, like, I've done it, right? But the cool thing is I've gone in and shifted and cleared it all up by doing the work that I teach, right? But when we shift it, we take our reality back into our own hands, and we create what's possible for us, right? Which is why I've been able to create, this business, make myself, I'm not necessarily a stay-at-home mom because I have a career, but I call myself a stay-at-home, right? Because I used to go to a corporate office, but now I'm a stay-at-home, but I'm still working. I don't know, it makes sense in my head, right? But I've been able to create my dream relationship where he prioritizes me and treats me like a queen, which was not a thing my first pregnancy. It's the same baby daddy, just so we're all aligned. Same person, it's just I changed myself, right? I've been able to heal a bunch of like friends and family wounds. I was able to create an amount of income that once felt impossible to me. I've gotten myself out of debt, etc., right? And it's all because I started honing in and seeing how I was being so hard on myself and how it was trickling into every area of my life. And if I can do it, so can you, because that's proof right there to your brain that it's absolutely possible. One thing about the brain is it loves proof. So if I'm ever trying to create something, like right now, I'm like, yeah, I can create $1 million business and I can still be a hot mom. So what do? I go online and I find people who are doing the same damn thing that I want to do. I'm like, yes, look, it's possible. This person's doing it, so why couldn't I do it? Also, if you guys are hearing my baby cry in the background, I just want you to know she's fine. She's with her dad. She is well. Anyways, there's so much more I could dive into with this, but for today, this is a good like foundation for our brain so we don't overwhelm our, oh good, we can't hear, I love that. So we don't overwhelm our nervous system, right? But I definitely want you guys to start rewiring that inner critic. And the exercise I just took you guys through is how you start to do that, right? Like that would be phase 1. I miss the baby cry. I know. I feel like one day I get in the days where I'm like, you know, I'm like, oh, I'm tired. And I'm like, I'm going to miss this phase. I'm going to miss this era when she's like not clinging to me all day. If you guys don't know, I call her Velcro baby because she's attached to me 24/7. It's a great time. But anyways, the exercise we did, state me in the chat. The exercise we did today, you can literally apply to anytime you catch yourself beating yourself up, but it does take time to rewire, right? Like, unfortunately, doing this one time is not going to shift it, but by you doing this daily and catching those thoughts and actually, like, now we brought attention to it, so it's a little bit easier to catch now versus if you were just like going to wake up tomorrow and decide to do it, right? My Velcro baby's downstairs with his dad. I love that. But it takes time for the brain to rewire. Cool? So again, this is literally just the foundation, guys. I have so much more to teach on this, but we've just covered one emotional root today. So inside MILF U, my Velcro baby is 12. I love that. Inside MILF U, we go through the emotional roots behind your body, your relationship, motherhood, money, anxiety, people-pleasing, self-image, generational trauma. We go through a lot, guys. Because once you understand how trauma actually creates your reality, you stop chasing the symptoms. You're not sitting here wondering, why do I keep snapping at my kids? Why can't I lose the weight? Why do I keep ending up in the same relationship? You know exactly what's creating it. And most importantly, we know how to freaking heal it, right? And that's why I created MILF U, because I was so over like just the surface level healing. I didn't want another coping mechanism. I'm like, no, I've been coping for too long, okay? I need to heal it. And I didn't want another therapist telling me, let's just talk about it for the next 10 years. I'm like, I'm tired of talking about it, okay? I feel like that. Have you guys seen Holes? I'm tired of this, Grandpa. That's what I felt like. But I wanted to understand like why my life looked the way it did, and I wanted to know how to actually change it, which again is exactly what we're doing inside of MILF U. If you've taken MILF U, there's a few girlies in here that have. Chime in, let us know how it landed for you. But if today's workshop had you thinking, holy shit, I've never looked at my life this way before, just wait until we spend 8 weeks together, guys. I promise you, it's a great freaking time, and we're just scratching the surface. And then like I mentioned at the beginning, I don't know if you were all in here, but because you showed up live, I'm offering $200 off MILF U with code MILF. And then if you enroll before the call ends, you get a private session completely free, which is $9.99. So over $1,100 in savings. We love that. Oh, Twiggy, we dropped the link if you haven't already in the chat. But you can go through and read the page, and if it's everything that we covered today, your intuition screaming at you, come hang out with us. It's a great time. Thank you, Alexandra. But we're not done yet, don't you worry. I do have journal prompts for you. I have energy shifting journal prompts for you, meaning I have programmed these to start to help you shift your energy. So we're gonna go over these together, but I'm gonna put them in the chat too, just because, you know, I talk really fast, and I'm totally aware, but it's hard to keep up sometimes. Okay, cool. So we have number one. Also, if you actually want to do these when the call ends, I would copy these and just save them while we're on the call. I'm gonna go over them too, but you know, just so you have them. Okay, so one, we have, where are you beating yourself up? And we kind of did this today, right? Like taking a few minutes to get brutally honest with yourself. Which area of life does your inner critic show up the most? And then I want you guys to get specific, like what are the exact thoughts you keep repeating to yourself in this area? See if you can catch the loop, which may be harder if it's something you've been doing for years and years and years, but now again that we've brought it to your attention, it'll be easier to catch. Then I want you guys to go to, oh, said one again, whatever. Where did this belief come from? So think back to when you were younger. Who modeled this belief to you? What did you watch, hear, or experience that taught your brain that this was true? And did this belief actually start with you, or is it something you inherited? Then we have number 3. I know you're thinking, Keisha, why don't you just drop these all in here at once? Because Zoom has a text limit, and I can't be doing the math, so they're just coming in here one by one. I get more frustrated at times trying to like figure out the character limit. It's, you know what I mean? Anyways, number 3, what is this situation trying to teach me? Remember, nothing's fully good, nothing's fully bad, right? Everything has a balance. So we're digging in on that. What is it trying to teach us? Then we have number 4. What story am I passing down to your children, your future children, your grandchildren? Maybe your Nieces and nephews. So if they copied your relationship with yourself exactly, would you be okay with that, right? And when I started thinking of that, I was like, damn, because at the time, you know, I was hypercritical of myself. I'm like, I don't want my girls to feel like that. Well, I only had Tatum when I started healing this, so I didn't want her to feel like this, right? I'm like, absolutely not. She cannot be thinking Slim Fast Shakes or a meal at age 8, right? And then we have number 5. Who would I be without my inner critic? So finish these sentences that are in the chat, but like if I stopped being so hard on myself, fill in the blank, my body would, my relationship would, motherhood would. You get it, right? The version of me I'm becoming looks like. So it's a lot of self-reflection, but it's going to be good, like, again, energy shifting journal prompts. It's going to get you to start thinking differently, and it's going to get you to start seeing where you've been doing this all along, right? Okay, cool. Do we have any questions on the journal prompts? Okay, cool. Just a reminder to, if you do want to do these, save them. Yay, love that. Just copy and paste them. Okay, cool, guys. Let's do a Q&A. How are we feeling? What questions can I answer for you guys? Thank you, Twiggy. Let me catch up in the chat. Let me see. Oh, thank you. One of the best courses I've ever taken. So incredible. Thank you. My Velcro baby self-love. Milview so good. I loved it too. Velcro babies downstairs. See, I love that we all have Velcro baby. What exactly does it tell when it's extra weight on the butt or the stomach? Good. So extra weight, you're gonna, oh good, I'm glad you love the prompts. So the butt's gonna be around, hold on, let me intuit this. It's gonna be around like taking action. So you'd be beating yourself up around the action that you're taking. And I remember you put something in the chat, so it's probably around one of the two that you chose. And then on the stomach's going to be over things from the past. So whether it's, you know, like what I was saying, where I beat myself up, how I physically looked, it could be something like that. It could be, you know, maybe the way you were raised, certain traumas. Good question, Nina. Miss Marsha said, how do we know we have healed it? Is it just that we don't think negatively about it? I feel like I can fool myself into not thinking about things. Good question. Let me intuit it for you. Well, it's like, I always tell everyone, I'm like, well, are we ever going to be fully healed? Because I hit a new, every time I'm like, I'm great, I'm fully healed, and I hit a new level, right? So I don't, my personal opinion, think anyone will ever be fully healed. I think we hit new levels of mastering, right? Like we master this, we master that, and we just keep going. But to your point, Marsha, you're going to tell specifically from your happiness level. It's not that you're unhappy in life, but you're going to be stop being so hypercritical on yourself, and you're going to have so much headspace that you're going to be like, wow. Like you're not going to realize how much headspace is taking up is what I'm getting at. So that you're actually allowing yourself to, like, you know, think about, you're not a super negative person, but like positive things, right? Like they're actually helping you. I get it. The Virgos, man, we're head cases. We're always up here, and it's just like, does it ever stop? Let's see, Patrick said it's my cat's lower belly reflection. Yeah, so it'd be the same thing. He'd be taking on your reflection, Patrick. Again, with what I was telling Nina, lower belly is going to be a step over the past. Victoria said, love Milview, one of the best healing plus more courses I've gone through. You learned so many tools. Thank you, Victoria. Mackenzie, always hitting a new, no, literally, we're always hitting a new level, guys. And people that tell you that you're healed, oh, you're just going to heal, I think they're liars. That's just my opinion. Because I've been doing this shit for 5 years, okay? And I hit new levels every time. But it's good, though, because that means I get to up level. Why would I want to be stagnant forever? I'd be so bored, you know what I mean? Anyways. As Cam said, I was wondering if there's something I could do to feel more connected to the proofs. I find because emotionally connecting when it feels impossible, like there's a disconnect. Let me see what you're missing. Can you give me an ingredient that you're working on, Cam? Because I feel like if I know what you're working on, I can loop in better examples for you. Yeah, campus, upper belly, not about the past. Yeah, upper belly in general is about the past. So it's going to be beating yourself up about the past, but the butt, sorry, I thought you said butt. Did I read that wrong? I could have read it wrong. Sorry if I did. Katie said, I'd love to know what my level of beating myself up is currently. I thought physical and spiritual were my top areas. Yeah, add vocation there too, Katie. Spiritual, yes, like you think that you should be taking more courses, which it's not bad to be taking more courses. You just are like telling yourself, I'll start the thing when I take 15 courses, and it's like you're already like qualified, right? Anyways, level of beating yourself up right now, 67. Which, let me tell you what, Katie, you've been doing some work on that, so that's not super high. You should be proud of yourself, sister. Okay, Twiggy said, also don't feel like you have to have kids. Oh yeah, Twiggy did not have kids. She's trying to get knocked up soon. And she was like, I'm gonna heal this before, which honestly, genius, because I wish I would have healed before I had Tate, because when I tell you guys I was in the trenches, but it's cool because now I have that experience where I was in the actual trenches, like super depressed, super bad, like postpartum depression, anxiety, rage. And now it's totally different, and it's all because, and I completely redid MILFU. If you've taken it in the past, I just redid it in February, so it's totally different. But anyway, and it's all, everything that I taught is like what I'm doing postpartum. I haven't had a depressive thought yet. I'm like, I don't know who I am, because again, right, it was so bad with Tatum, and now I'm like, I know how to catch it and shift it, which is really fucking cool. Which again is why I love to teach this work, because we shouldn't have to suffer, and we damn sure shouldn't have to suffer alone, because I did. Couldn't agree more, always loving up. Yes, thank you, Miss Sarah. Cam said the things that get to work out for me, too, so it's safe to trust. Start, let me see. Okay, here's the thing, Cam, you're missing all the little small wins that you have. And the way our brain works, if we can't see how we're winning in little bitty micro areas, then we're damn sure not gonna see the explosive growth. Like I always say, like the G-Wagon's not gonna, you know, magically show up in your car and you're gonna be like, yes, I'm winning at life, right? Unfortunately. But start focusing on like, oh, someone held the door open for you. Someone bought you a free coffee. Maybe you got an email and you had like a $5 gift card somewhere. I don't know, just find like little micro things that you can focus on. And then the more you focus on the micro, the bigger they grow. And then you will start to see like substantial growth from, or like substantial wins from that. But you have to see the small ones first. What's the emotional root cause of fuller face and fuller cheeks? It's going to be beating yourself up on how you perceive yourself or how you think others perceive you. Miss Jenna said, same cue for me. What's the percentage of beating myself up? You're at 81, Miss Jenna. Yours, well, there's a few areas at play here, but a lot of it's you're a new mom and you're in that new mom loop of like feeling like you're not doing good enough. It's not true. It's just how we feel. You said lower belly. Yeah. Oh, got you, Nina. Yeah, but no, belly in general is just about the past. I was like, man, did I totally read her question wrong? Thanks for clarifying. Miss Leah said, oh, can you give me the percentage that I'm beating myself up? I was like 90 something last I checked. Good, Leah. You're at 78, so you've gone down. Good job, sister. Girl, that came down so much. Go me. No, literally, go Katie. She's slaying over here. Mackenzie, it's probably gonna be high because you just had that crash out. I haven't checked that, but I'm just saying if it is, don't stress. Mackenzie, you're at 97 right now, but it's because you just went through that spiral. Where you typically sit, you're typically at a 68. Miss Ashley Queen, beating yourself up. You're at about 92 right now. Hunter, any suggestions on where to start for my passion hobby? Nothing's exciting me at the moment. I've only been getting excited about potential job opportunities, but want to get more excited about things for me. Good, let me see. Hunter, what's gonna help you, sister? Hunter, I want you to be in your full feminine era right now. Like, crafts are gonna do it for you. Like, which I know you're thinking crafts. I don't want to fucking craft. I can hear your thoughts. But like, just start with like painting, like a paint to number situation or a coloring book. I was just coloring a tape today. Actually very therapeutic. But just like little crafty things like that. Maybe you want to bake, you can bake cookies or something. Maybe you cook dinner. Working out's good, but the thing with working out, I do this too, is when you start to work out and you're working out to like see a change in your body, it no longer falls under passion hobby because you're doing it to get X result. So like coloring, painting, things like that for you, Hunter. You're welcome, Miss Cam. Miss Nina, can you check of how much Connect it's safe to open up? 12%, Patrick. No worries, baby. Thank you. May I please know percentage of beating myself up? Alexandra. You're high today, Alexandra, and I think it's because what we just talked about with your dog. Typically speaking, Well, you're typically around 90, so you're higher, but you're still, you know what I mean. Miss Hannah, beating yourself up, 67. Victoria, you're at 47, sister, so you've been shifting since that accident. Glory, beating yourself up. Glory, you're higher right now for also the dog situation. Like, it's a loop of like, if I could have like changed and like done, you know, certain things better, maybe would have had a different outcome. So with that being said, it's going to be a little bit higher than usual. Right now, you're at a 91. Before that happened, you're at a 62. Yes, Miss Twiggy, thank you for putting that link. Yes, if you sign up for MILFU during the call, you get a free session plus $200 off with code MILF. Hunter said, girl, I want to know you hit that on the nose. I know, Hunter, as soon as I said like crafting out, immediately her higher self was like, she's gonna fucking hate it. I understand. Yes, Kim. You could do crafts too, but I see you more so doing like pottery, like anything with your hands, whether it's pottery, like gardening. You could do cooking if you want, but I see more like pottery or like gardening type situations for you. Miss Jenna Quincatia, what is the biggest thing I can do to get myself to, hold on, what's the biggest, oh, sorry, couldn't read there for a second, sorry guys. Miss Jenna, I don't know if you were here when we did the exercise. Go back and rewatch and do the exercise we did, that'll help. And then you've just got to start connecting to how those things are like not like what you're doing your best, and like how what you're doing, you don't need to be like, oh, Jenna, do it better. Like, how is what you're doing perfect? Finding the perfection and the balance in it. Nina said, what if one wants to lose the belly fat but not the butt fat? Asking for friends. Love that. Yeah, butt fat's a great problem to have. Just focus on like beating yourself up for the past. Now you could still like, you work out a lot, Nina, so I wouldn't necessarily like worry about it, because if you end up losing the fat, you're just going to turn it into muscle. So I wouldn't be super like worried about it. You could still just shift in general, but great question. Hunter said, I want to say I love working out, but it's feeling more like a check the box on a passion. Totally. I was like, probably paint, but what? And then, honestly, Hunter, get the paint to number things on Amazon. I do them with Tate all the time. And I don't even have to think about, you know, the Virgo brains over here. I don't have to think about what color I want shit to be. It's like 1 is pink, 2 is blue. And you know what I mean? You just get to sit there and like, I don't know. Victoria posted, where's Victoria? She's still here. Victoria, you inspired me to try paint to number again because you were doing it so just like effortless. I get annoyed, again, the Virgo, if I get out of the lines, I'm like, I don't like this, I'm out of the lines. But Victoria was out of the lines and it looked really good. And I was like, you know what? She just inspired me to try again. So thank you, Victoria. Hannah said, what percentage should we be at to not see reflections? You've got to be, well, the really loud reflections, you've got to be below 80%. Hannah, to get to the level that you want to be at where you're not seeing them as avidly, you want to be below like 40%. Patrick, you're just not emotionally connecting. You're logicking it, which is fine, but it's not emotionally connecting. So it's kind of like you're doing the work, but it's not, until you emotionally connect, it's not going to shift. You're welcome, Miss Kim. Thank you. Also love the new background. Thank you. It's because I moved and I decided to give myself an office. Miss Marsha said, I feel like I need to find a random odd hobby and can't think of any. Let's see. The first thing that came for me, Marsha, was like Zumba. I'm like, she's gonna hate it at first, but it'll be fun for you. That one, this one, Tess, if you're the Virgos up here, pole dancing classes, well, 1, you get to be like sexy and feminine, but 2, because you have to be so focused on what's going on or you're gonna miss everything, and it makes your brain shut up. So that one test high, and let me just see one more. This one's interesting. I've actually never pulled this from someone, but finding like a puzzle game on your phone, either like an actual puzzle you could do or like a puzzle game on your phone that you're just doing to have fun, test really high for you. And it quiets your brain, because who could possibly overthink everything if you're doing a puzzle, you know? Dawn, what percentage am I beating myself up these days? Let's see, Miss Dawn. Dawn, you're at 68. Okay, so you should be really proud of yourself, sister, because you were at like 99 for a hot minute. So good job. You've been putting in the work. She's a MILFU queen too, so she really put herself through the ringer, and good job, sister. Victoria said, I'm glad it expires you on Virgos. Well, good. We love that. The Virgos, man. Is it because I have too many ingredients, or like I'm really, Patrick, I would focus on 4 ingredients, and then once you start seeing, like feeling yourself connect in those, then you can add more in. So many Virgos. That's crazy you said that. I used to pole dance 10 years ago. I love that. What can I do to get myself down from crashing from earlier, seeing the perfection? Yeah, Mackenzie, you've got to connect to like, it's those, while it's a crash out fun, no, but it's showing you like what's still like heavy in your field. So if you desire to create the Soul Path Soul Pool business and get like a recurring clientele before you have your child, right? Like you've got to shed all those beliefs. So it's giving you the opportunity to learn. So really connect to that, and then start connecting to like how you're special and unique, like everything that you're doing in the challenge right now. Keep those ingredients going. Thank you. Pole dancing sounds like, I know, I'm like, should I go to a pole dancing class? Nina, you're at 71. It was a little, sorry, it was a little lower last week. Got me good. I know, I thought about that, Dawn. I was like, I think last week got her good. Let me see where you were before last week. Before last week, you were at 51, so you're right, you were lower. Okay, slay, guys. This was fun. I loved seeing all you guys today. Thanks for joining me on a Sunday. I always like doing Sunday because I mean, I like during the week, but you know, I feel like more you guys get to join on Sunday because you're not at work, and we love that. Yay, okay. A reminder to save the journal prompts if you want to do those. But other than that, guys, I will see you soon, and I'll have another free workshop soon, guys. I've missed, you know, I was on my maternity leave for like 8 weeks, and now I'm like, I'm missing talking to you guys, so I will be back soon. Don't you worry. Okay, guys, have a great day. Bye.